Good evening, everyone. My name is Todd Scholl. I serve as the Director of Wellness and Communications at the SCEA Center for Educator Wellness and Learning. And for short, we call ourselves Cool. You can find out everything you ever wanted to know about Cool right here on this website, cool.us, that's CEWL.us. There you'll find all of the live streams that we do, all of the programs that we provide, including we do free professional learning for public schools and districts in South Carolina, and you can request that free learning from us. We also have our Cool Induction Institute and all of the programs that Dr. Marcella Weinsnyder runs to support our early career educators, including Cool Coaching and Dear Cool Coach and some of the other induction work that she's doing with districts. So if you're interested in learning more about everything we do, head on over to cool.us. Our mission is to improve the inner and outer lives of educators. And one of the ways we do that is through live streams like the one we're going to have tonight. And of course, we would not be here without a grant from the National Education Association and our partnership with their state affiliate here in South Carolina, the SCEA. And you can join that organization at jointhescea.org. If you work at a public school in South Carolina, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a substitute teacher, a bus driver, a cafeteria worker, a classroom teacher, administrator, everyone who works in a public school in South Carolina can join the South Carolina Education Association and be a part of the movement that we're trying to create to help deliver the kind of schools that all educators and all students deserve. Well, tonight I have to thank our UniServe director, Alana Ward from the Low Country, for putting me in contact with our guests tonight. Now, our guests tonight are sisters, Mary and Laura Haney. Mary Haney is a 30-year educator currently serving as an elementary school librarian, where she's known as the Forever Friendly Librarian. She holds a master's and MLIS and is national board certified. This year, she is an emerging leader with the South Carolina Association of School Librarians, and a shout out to Skazzle. I'll be there doing their keynote in a couple of weeks at their conference. Mary's passion is ensuring every child access to books that reflect diverse identities and experiences, drawing inspiration from literacy pioneers Rudine Sims Bishop and Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. Her sister Laura is a retired educator from Summerville, South Carolina, with over 33 years in the classroom teaching 4th and 5th grade visual arts and serving as a curriculum resource teacher. She's also national board certified, and she holds degrees in studio art and elementary education from the University of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. She also co-directs Camp Discovery STEAM Academy in Columbia each summer. Laura is driven by a deep love for children and a belief that teaching is her life's calling. Two incredibly accomplished educators. Should be a great conversation tonight. So please welcome to Cool Conversations, Mary and Laura Haney. How are you tonight?
Well, I'm doing amazing.
We're doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So is there anything that I did not share in your bios that you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, that my career is still a journey. So I did start out as a classroom teacher, and then I moved into being an art teacher, and that's where I got the experience of being an interdisciplinary educator, and just kind of moving on with that. And that's the focus of everything that we do, even with the professional development that we do with teachers.
Yeah.
And I'm semi-retired now because I just took a position on with the district as a Carolina CAP coach, helping coach teachers who are pursuing alternative certification.
It is. I've found I retired back in 2020, and I've been working ever since. So it's like, do we ever really retire? I mean, there's always great opportunities for people who are talented, and from what Alana's told me, you two have so many talents to share. I'd like to start off asking you about Beloved Educators Unlimited. That sounded like such a great program. and kind of aligned with some of the things we're trying to do for educators through our Center for Educator Wellness and Learning. Can you kind of outline what Beloved Educators is all about and what you do?
Okay, well, we'll start with the just the whole idea of it. The whole idea of it actually stemmed from a book that we ran across, and it was the stories of wonderful educators. And in fact, the title of the book is Beloved Educators, and it is the story of African American educators who made a difference in the lives of children. And as we read that, we Mary mainly spearheaded the idea, and we thought about it, and then we thought about what is an educator? Is an educator just the person that stands in that classroom, or are educators all around our children? And so then we stem to the fact that the African proverb says it takes a whole village to raise a child. And so we know that our children are not just educated inside of the classroom, but also outside as well. And we also have, as far as the summer camp, we've also realized that in the summer is, well, research shows that a lot of learning loss occurs over the summer. So that was one of the ideas for summer camp. And so our teachers are beloved educators, and they are not all certified. Some of them are working in the school system, and they are classified employees, but they all bring a love for the children. And we all approach the children in summer camp with the village approach, that it takes the entire village to save one child or raise one child.
So parents are beloved educators because parents are the child's first educator, or whoever the caretakers are. And so, of course, we start with families. Parents, families, and then also community leaders. So to make everything work together with Beloved Educators Unlimited, it takes all of us to surround the children who are in the center, where we are protectors of the whole child, not just, teaching academically, but also socially and just, I don't want to say spiritually to a certain extent, but it is, because that's what we do. We just take care of the whole child wherever where we find them. We are responsive to who they are when they come to camp for 8 days. But before that, the beloved educators come together for a whole week. And we learn about the theories that ground our camp, like sociocultural theory, culture relevant pedagogy, using Brian Camborne's conditions for learning. And then also we do professional book studies, like the book study that guides us is the Every Child is Super Reader by Pam
Allyn and
Ernest Morrell. And we'd like to bow our heads to, or give a nod to Ernest Morrell, because he's no longer with us. He passed away. We learned about it at the NCTE conference, but his work has definitely impacted the lives of the children that we've served for 15 summers.
And I wanted to add, as far as that book, the 7 Habits of a Super Reader, that is the subtitle of the book. And so over the 2 weeks of camp that we work with the children, we're focused on love. We're focused on belonging. We're focused on curiosity. We're focused on courage. We're focused on friendship. So those are just a few of them, but there are 7+1 habits that children will develop. So we find that the students do also, the campers fall in love with just books, because we take those books and we surround those books and we look at those attributes that will build your reading skills and build that character and that humanity that our world so much needs.
Yeah, I really love the idea of looking at every touch point for a child as being an educator, from the home to the school to the community, and trying to bring all those people together and have, because I think sometimes culturally there's some division between parents, and there are politicians who like to somehow stoke this division between parents and the school. But the idea of kind of bringing everybody together and trying to get on the same page to benefit the child is such an important thing. Can you tell us a little bit more? When I read about this program, I was reading about some of the sort of the emphasis of what you do, which includes like restorative practices and and some other, like, you talk about how it's a rigorous professional environment. Can there's a lot of conceptions around what professional learning is like, and it sounds to me like you kind of have a little bit of a different approach, of a fresh approach around how we should be working with educators in terms of developing them professionally. How does your program differ, and what are some of the key components of it that people experience when they go through it?
Well, first of all, we started with this. It was because of the teachers. The teachers needed a space where they could reflect on their practice, and not someone thinking for them, but thinking for themselves, because and what they see and notice about their problem of practice. So they would identify their problem of practice and then go about reading about it, talking about it together, because learning happens in conversations, right? So, but teachers don't really have that time, because to reflect, it's kind of like they're always busy, busy, busy. So what Camp Discovery does as a professional development camp for teachers, it gives them that time to think about their practice, think about what they want to work on, and then talk with each other, just unpack some things, unpack their thoughts and what they know. Teachers are not empty vessels, and they don't need to be told all the time what to do, even though they do try to make it work, but they can make it work better if they could have time to unpack it themselves with the children that they work with. So what Camp Discovery does, it gives them that time to say, first of all, when we first get together, we talk about how many years everybody has. Like we might have a teacher who just started, or we may have someone who's been there 30 years, such as myself. But once we put it all together, we might have 100 and some years. And so individually, we may not know as much as we could know collectively. So the first thing we do is we start figuring out where we belong to each other and where we connect or disagree, because it's okay to disagree, and then we talk about our theories, because a lot of times when we're in school, we learn all these theories, and then we're so busy doing the work. So when we're in the practice, we don't unpack the theory. So that gives the time for us to unpack the theory. So what we have concluded is at Camp Discovery, we have sociocultural theory, and then the practice, we're using culture relevant pedagogy. And then to create the structures, we're using Brian Camborne, and then Brian Camborne's conditions for learning, which is immersion. So when we immerse ourselves into a practice as teachers, first with ourselves, and then we take it with the children, and then we bring it to the families, because we have a parent-family community day. So let me just back up a little bit. In 2012, we had a lot of teachers, and we were just around a kitchen table trying to figure out what to do. And then that's when we decided that we would start this professional development camp and bring the children, and then we would coach them. We would coach each other, because teachers do know how to help each other. And when they do help each other, they seem to do an amazing job. Well, in my opinion, and what we see in camp in 8 days. If we share with you some of the letters and data that we get from the parents, and not only that, the data that we see in front of us on Parent Family Community Day, you're like, okay, if we can do this in 8 days, what if we had 180 days to do this work as teacher leaders? And so in 2012, we started camp, didn't have any money. All we had was each other as beloved educators, and we structured this camp, and we started the iteration process. This would be our 15th summer that's coming up, and we have come full circle now. Like some of our children who were kindergarten, I think one of them is now in the 11th grade, and then we have some who came in second or third grade. They are now graduated from college, and they're wearing beloved educator shirts. And so they come back and they give back to the camp in whatever profession they're in. So it's it's exciting to see where we are now with this, with this work. And we know that what it does, we see a lot of teachers empowered. We had teachers who wanted to quit, but they came and had the experience of camp discovery, went back, classroom environment, whole mindset shifted, to continue the work. So I don't know if I'm going on and on because it's hard to explain. It's an experience that sometimes you just have to have. But that's it's a structure that we all love and plan on continuing. About 4 years ago, we just got fully funded. So now teachers get paid as professionals. We have so much resources, whereas before we would gather up the resources, like at the end of the school year, and that's how we would have the resources for the camp, use a lot of recycles. But now we have more than what we need to continue the journey and invite other teachers.
And
Yeah,
I just wanted to,
go ahead. Sorry.
may I add, one of the things that I've noticed from the camp, and especially the professional development side, is that the joy of teaching and learning returns. And so many, and what's really good about it is those teachers that, and I even know when I taught in the camp, when you return to the classroom in August, you bring that joy, and that joy sustains you through the year. So I think that's important, that the joy of why we even became teachers in the first place, it reignites your fire. And I think that was important, why we keep doing camp, and just keep coming back. And then even the kids keep coming back year after year.
Yeah, this I really appreciate the idea um, of professional learning being something from the ground up. So many times it's a top-down thing, like the district office is telling you, the school, everybody needs to go through this particular type of professional learning, whether it's relevant to you or not. And what I'm hearing from you is that you're bringing people in and taking their experience and then cultivating learning based upon what their individual needs are and where they are in their career and what they're going through. There were a couple of terms that you used that I feel like maybe people need to know more about what they mean. One was sociocultural cultural theory. Let's start with that one. Can you tell our audience who may not be familiar with that what sociocultural theory is?
It sounds complex, but it's very simple. Sociocultural theory is basically I live on or stand on the shoulders of Vygotsky, and he talks about how learning is social. So what we do is we create these environments where children are able to collaborate and socialize, where teachers are able to collaborate and socialize and have real conversations, not conversations that are just like, well, turn and talk, and I'm going to tell you what to turn and talk about, even though that's appropriate sometimes. But a lot of times teachers don't get time to really think about, I know I'm going back to the students, but when we think about collaboration, we create collaborative spaces for ourselves through sociocultural theory, where we bring our experiences to the table, and we begin to have conversations. And not only that, we get to socialize, not, with who we are, first learning about ourselves and making those connections to create a culture or a community of learners or a community of educators who are beloved. And what's the main focus? The main focus is making sure every child has an extraordinary teacher, because I don't believe any teacher comes in this profession to not do their best. But sometimes the system can dig that out of you. So when we think about sociocultural theory for educators, that's us giving us time. When we think about creating that context in the camp for the children, then we think about all the engagements that we create where they work together. For example, we'll give them some Kiva planks. And I want to give a shout out to Kiva planks, because we went to and I'm going to just step aside because I need to bring in that community. we had gone to a conference. I think it was in Lexington, and this was many, many years ago. And the Kiva man was there, and I was like, "Hi, sir. My name is Mary Jade Haney, and we have a camp, and we don't have any money."
We need to
and
see
he's
what Kiva planks are.
yeah, well, we could talk about what the Kiva, Laura talk about that, but the Kiva planks. I mean, it just brought so much so much excitement to camp. Well, he gave them to me. I mean, he didn't give them to me, but he sent them, and he told me to pay him when he could, when we could. So what we did is we kind of gathered up our funds, and we paid a little bit at a time, until we finally paid those off. But those we have in the camp. That's something that where the children, we'll tell them, okay, this is your task, is to build one structure. What we've noticed with the children is they won't talk, they just go building. And so when we unpack it and we tell them, let's try again, then they will build, but everybody will build their own structure. So then we unpack it again, and then we start doing like these many lessons of what collaboration means. But y'all, by the end of the 8 days, the children can collaborate. Not only they're collaborating, they're excited, they have what you call courage, and they respectfully challenge each other. And so, I mean, that's just one, and I think I got off the question. But that was the sociocultural theory piece of creating environments. Now,
you said sociocultural.
Yeah.
Did you bring in the cultural part?
Yeah, sociocultural theory, where we bring in the culture. So when you come to Camp Discovery, you get on a cruise ship. And with the cruise ship, you have to travel to the 7 continents before we leave. So we go to these different continents, and we learn about people and others. And we say, "Tu eres mi ocho yo." I am you, or you are me. If I do harm to you, I do harm to myself. If I love and respect you, I love and respect myself. So we say these things every day. We talk about what it means. So that's kind of like the very, thin part of sociocultural theory, but that part. So then we have culturally relevant pedagogy. And so that's based on we use Gloria Latz and Billings' work.
And the work of Rudine Sims Bishop. Her theory of books can be mirrors, windows, or sliding glass doors. And so when you think about a book, you want to ask yourself, can the child see themselves as a mirror? And then the other one is sliding mirrors. Windows. I'm sorry, I should have started with windows. No, mirrors, windows. So when you look in a mirror, you see yourself. When you look out of a window, you see someone else. But sometimes that window can become a reflection of yourself based on the way the sun is shining. And then the other one is sliding glass doors, where you actually step out of your world into someone else's. And when we choose our books that we use for camp, we not only focus on the 7 strengths of a super reader, but we also look to see, do those characters represent the children that's in the camp, and do those characters represent just humanity as a whole? Because we don't want our children just to think that, everybody in the world is going to look like them, right. Because we are a melting pot. And so we get an opportunity where children are actually learning from other learning about each other, and learning about cultures and things they've never even heard of. So that's the opportunity to bring back to bring in the cultural theory that culturally responsive teaching is what I'm trying to say. Because to be culturally responsive, you're responding to the culture of the children in front of you. You're not just going to come and teach your culture or your dominant culture or whatever. We want children to see that the world is made up of many different people, and many different beliefs and cultures and traditions and languages and all of that.
And just ways of being, So one of the things I want to share, because what you don't know is we do have beloved educators in this room with us. And so one of the beloved educators just wrote, she's a middle school teacher. And one of the things that we don't do is we don't say, oh, we don't have to teach the standards. But the standards are integrated in everything that we do. Because first of all, ELA standards have no content. So it's very easy to bring in the science. the social studies with arts and humanities, and bringing all of this and integrate it. But it takes time, because when you're in the school system, a lot of it is linear. So trying to unpack that and helping everybody, all the beloved educators, kind of like, okay, we're not doing it that way. We're doing more integrated, interdisciplinary learning, and we're not doing the technology plugged right now. We're going to give the children a break from that. They're going to use technology, but it's unplugged. So we have these tinkering, talking, and technology unplugged bags for the kids, where we have scissors, because believe it or not, scissors, it is a piece of technology, but sometimes kids don't know where to put the thumb. And I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about our upper grades too, because we didn't talk about the structure of the camp. But the structure of the camp for the kids, we have kindergarten through fourth grade. Those are the campers, those are our students. And then we have through 12th grade, and those are the LITs, which are the leaders in transition. They used to be leaders in training, but we now have them LITs, leaders in transition, and they earn volunteer hours. So they actually help us run the camp. So they come and have their leadership training on the last Friday of the first week. And I just want to give a shout out to the nurse who volunteers, and she does, and her daughter is a nurse, and they do the CPR training. Yeah, they do the CPR training, so they're fully trained at the end. These kids, I mean, they have done so many volunteer hours. And I need to go ahead, and I want to share this right here about the standards. This is what one of our beloved educators just sent me. And she said, the professional learning includes spending time with standards and indicators. We plan rigorous learning experience that students get to do the work. Why? Because he who does the work does the learning. And the children are just busy bees, working intentionally, not just doing what we call a Potemkin village, just doing something, where it looks good. If you come in and you look deep, you can see the impact that's being made in the lives of these children for 8 days. And how can you see that? We have Parent Family Community Day, and during that day, the parents, our family, and community members are invited at 12 o'clock. They come in. We have Alvaron
Barbecue.
Barbecue. He comes in and he just fixes this family reunion. So we have like this reunion, and the parents come in. The children, we do exhibition walls. We don't do bulletin boards. We do exhibition walls, and the children stand by their exhibition walls, and they're doing what they call conferences, but they're telling you what they have learned.
It's student-led.
Mm-hmm. Then we have our teachers, because teachers need to understand teaching is political. And you have to be able to talk, because I run into this when we're doing our professional development. I'm comfortable in front of children. I'm just not comfortable in front of adults. Well, that's a problem. If you're going to be a teacher leader, you've got to be able to stand up in front of anybody and be able to state your case, and be able to advocate not only for yourself, but sometimes for your students, and do it, in a professional manner, of course, and be able to back up and know your why, and the why of what we do. And sometimes teachers just don't get that opportunity. Say, well, they get that opportunity in Camp Discovery. They get up and they talk. Kids talk every day. We do a performance every day. And I just want to give a shout out to my school district, Richland County School District 1. They provide all the sound for us, whatever we need. It's just the collaboration and support of our school, and our forever principal who helped us start, Miss Satterwhite. She's no longer with us, but she is a beloved educator. But in 2012, she's the one who gave us this opportunity, and this is where we are.
Fantastic.
I might have said too much, but that was...
No, it's great. It sounds amazing. If folks who are watching this and they haven't been a part of it yet, they haven't been connected with you yet, how can they find out more information about Beloved Educators Unlimited and Camp STEAM Discovery?
Well, Beloved Educators 365, we have an Instagram page where we kind of like post things and post, like pictures of things that we do. We do have some news clip, but you can always contact me in Richland County School District 1. I have my contact information, Mary.Haney at richland1.org. Sometimes I would like to say this: Camp Discovery is an experience. So because it's an experience, I invite anybody, to come out to our Parent Family Community Day. The one for this year is going to be June 18th at Morrell Hill Elementary School, and it starts at 12 o'clock. It starts at 12 o'clock noon, right, and it's over at 3:30. But you'll get a meal. You'll get to talk with the family. You'll get to talk with us, and we do have some news clips out there where we have been followed around, because we also have a flash mob performance, social justice flash mob performance, where we go around Columbia. I want to give a shout out to Capital Tours, which always gives us a bus to carry us around the Columbia area. We just have lots and lots of support. And when I want to say this, it doesn't take a whole lot of finances to do what you need to do if you're passionate and you have a group of people who are willing to go the distance for children, because and for themselves, because Camp Discovery STEAM Academy not only impacts the teachers, but it also impacts students, parents, families, and it makes a difference for all of us, because the nice thing about this opportunity of professional development, teachers get to carry those strategies back in the classroom very strong. So, and being able to see the impact and deciding on what you're going to take back and work on. So that's all I'd like to say. And I want to say this: are we closing now?
Not necessarily. I'm free to keep going. Whatever you want to promote and talk about. Let's keep going.
Well, I have to say there is so much. It's hard to say things about this, but I want to say that this year is going to be phenomenal. And the reason it's going to be phenomenal is because of our beloved educators. We're going to be launching Camp Discovery STEAM Academy Hilltop Players, and we're going to take Camp Discovery STEAM Academy Hilltop Players, and we're going to collaborate within communities, and we're going to be doing not only summer camp, but summer camp is going to actually be coming into the school year, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, right after school, all the way up to 6 o'clock. And teachers are going to be that's going to be we're going to use it as a professional development hub. And the books that we're going to be bringing off the shelf are our Black scholars, African American scholars of our book study, and trying these strategies with some of the students that we serve. So that's going to bring in that's going to be another layer of the work that we'll be doing. And we are launching this, we're not launching, but we're going to be doing a presentation at the NCTE AR conference here in Columbia at the University of South Carolina, Pastides Alumni House, and it'll be 7:15 a.m. This Saturday. And we're gonna go do that.
And the Hilltop Players would be it's going to be the drama, focusing on the drama component of just bringing that part out of the students, that part of the talent out of children,
and integrating the standards, indicators in this interdisciplinary learning format, because when you separate the learning, it's a disconnect with the brain. It doesn't work. The brain doesn't work like it's supposed to, and so learning becomes like not joyful, but disjointed and just
in my early years of teaching and learning, I did learn that when you learn something new, you have to connect it to something old that you already know, and so the learning sticks. And so that's one thing that we try to focus on too, like the indicators. How do they build on each other? How do they connect? How can we basically get the most bang for our buck when we're looking at instruction? And that's why we think that it's more impactful, because we only have our students for 2 weeks, and the learning that takes place in those 2 weeks is amazing. And we've even had parents to respond and say that the children learned so much in those 2 weeks as compared to what they learned in the whole school year.
Wow, it sounds amazing. And Mary, is this the correct email address on the screen? Just want to make sure. Mary.Haney@richland1.org.
That is correct.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
And I did find an Instagram page. Is it Instagram.com/belovededucators365?
That is it. Yes.
That's it. Okay. So folks can either, if they're on Instagram, they can go to Instagram.com/belovededucators365, or they can email you directly at mary.haney@richland1.org. So
Yes.
what is there anything else that we missed that you wanted to cover tonight?
I think that's all. I know we were kind of a little bit. Did we answer all of your questions?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think so. I mean, I could pick your brains for a long, long time. When you're have a conversation with veteran educators like you've seen so much over the course of your careers, and I just want to say how much I appreciate what you're doing for your community and for these educators that you work with the students that you work with, parents, and all that. It sounds like a really wonderful program, and I hope that people will connect with you to learn more about it, because it sounds like something that could be replicated in other areas. Like there's a lot of need for this kind of thing over the summer, and I think it would be wonderful for people to attend and learn more about it.
And it can, and that's why we thank you for this, because anybody who want to go over the structures, you're more than welcome we'll be glad to share it and share what we've learned throughout the years, so that you might not have to go through some of the things that we have gone through. But I do want to leave you in memorializing Dr. Maya Angelou. Lying thinking last night, how to find my soul a home where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody can make it out here alone. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering, the wind is gonna blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan, because nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone. Nobody can make it out here alone. And so I just want to before I leave, I just want to just say that we are better together, and we cannot just continue to work and do the work, whatever we're going to do for the children, do it we can't do it alone. We have to be together. We have to work together and work collaboratively, as intentionally and with a focus, because every child deserves a great teacher. Because Dr. King spoke powerful words. Dr. King is the subject of the sentence and what the predicate said he did. You can teach kids all kinds of ways, but you have to let them understand darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And every child deserves a great teacher.
And we wanted to thank you again for giving us this opportunity to speak with you concerning what we do.
Yeah, amen. It was really wonderful, and I hope that folks will go to either their email and connect with you at mary.haney@richland.1, or if they're on Instagram, we'll go to instagram.com/belovededucators365. If you just go to Instagram and type in on a search beloved educators, you're going to find this account, and then you can follow them and connect with them there. So thank you both for your time tonight. I appreciate Alana Ward for connecting us, and love what you're doing. I think it's so important, the work that you're doing, bridging gaps and really facilitating relevant and meaningful professional learning for educators, so that they can be heard instead of being just talked to, that they can be heard, and they can kind of reignite the passion that they have for their profession, and go back into that school year with some joy. And anyone who's doing that work is doing God's work, as far as I'm concerned. And I appreciate that. So thank you so much to both of you for your time tonight. And please reach out if there's any other ways we can support you here at Cool.
Okay, and Deidre Lee, one of our beloved educators, just as extra time, she just posted the email and in the Instagram in the chat.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, Mary and Laura, thank you so much for your time tonight, and we'll be in touch soon.
Okay. Thank you. Good
All
night.
right. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That was Laura and Mary Haney from Beloved Educators Unlimited, and the STEAM Academy that they do. It's called Camp Discovery STEAM Academy. And once again, just want to make sure you know how you can reach out to them if you found that information interesting and you want to connect and learn more. Go to mary.haney@richland1.org. You can email her there or go to instagram.com/belovededucators365 and connect with them there. Lots of great things are happening at the SCEA. This weekend, we have our spring conference. Hopefully, we'll see some of you there. I'll be there doing a session on wellness on Saturday. That is going to be March 6th through 7th at our headquarters in West Columbia. We are so excited and hope again to see many of you there. We have a couple of other things I wanted to share. Just this is such an important one. Cool Coaching is free. And you don't have to be a member of the SCEA to participate in Cool Coaching. It is intended for educators in the first 5 years of the career who need some support, and maybe they're not comfortable going to somebody at their school and they just want to get some unbiased, unfiltered support from a veteran educator. And so you can do this online. It's one-on-one. You're not going to be put in with a group. So there's confidentiality. This happens every Tuesday and Thursday night between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. Now, you don't have to go for the whole 2 hours. You can show up at like 7:15 and you'll be connected with one of these three educators in a breakout room in Zoom. All you have to do is go to cool.us/coaching. That's CEWL.us/coaching. Again, it's free. It's the brainchild of Dr. Marcella Weinsteiner, and Stephanie Johnson and Angie Brush are the other cool coaches. And they do a remarkable job, and we're so proud of that initiative. Also, if you haven't connected with us over on Instagram and TikTok, Alex Del Castillo is doing some wonderful work over there. And I want to put those links up for folks who maybe you have a TikTok account and you haven't connected with the SCEA yet. You can do that at tiktok.com/@the-SCEA. You can go and just do a search for the SCEA. You'll find us, follow that account, and you're going to see some really cool stuff that Alex is doing. All of Pete Stone's videos are going to be posted there. We do AI clips from these live streams that we do. So some shorter pieces from the live streams. We do some bite-sized pieces in case you're not able to watch the whole live stream. We kind of give you the highlights. You can also find us on Instagram at instagram.com/the-SCEA, _SCEA_. Again, you can just do a search for the SCEA. You're going to find us over there. Follow that account and you're going to see similar content because we have content on multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and then TikTok and Instagram. And we know that, people have their preferences of social media. So wherever you are, whatever social media you use, check us out at the SCEA and then follow us, subscribe, follow, whatever. Comment on these, like and comment on these videos and share them. Share this content with your networks if you find value in them. That would be a really helpful thing you can do to support the work we do at the South Carolina Education Association and our Center for Educator Wellness and Learning. It's an easy thing that you can do to jump into the world of advocacy is just like, comment, and share, follow, subscribe on our social media platforms. And that helps amplify the work that we're doing, the good work we're doing, like the work of Laura and Mary Haney tonight. If you see this video and you're on Facebook, you can like it, comment, and you can share it with your people. And you don't know who might see that and be impacted greatly in a positive way by that share that you did. So please, you can help us out through that. Once again, I want to remind you that you can join the South Carolina Education Association at the scea.org. You can do that right now. You can sign up online at jointhescea.org. Again, anyone who works in the public school in South Carolina can be a member of our union. When you join, you're joining three basically associations. You're joining the South Carolina Education Association, obviously, but you're also joining the NEA, our National Education Association, which is the largest labor union in the United States of America. Over 3 million members. And because of that, there's all kinds of great benefits, insurance, travel, credit card, and then you get insurance benefits, things like that. It's really just a no-brainer. If you are an educator in South Carolina, we insure our cars, we insure our homes, we want to insure our profession. And so you can do that by being a part of our organization, jointhescea.org. And the third organization that you're joining is your local. And your local association is important because we believe we have to advocate at the local level. We have to advocate in our schools. And we're going to have a session on being a building rep later this month. We need to advocate in our schools, in our districts, at the state house, so at the state level where they set the policies, the laws, and the budget and so forth for that impact your classrooms, and then also at the national level. And if we're not advocating at the national level, we're missing a huge component of education advocacy, because we know a lot of the policies that are made in Washington, D.C. make their way to the state house and then to your classroom. So it's critical that we're advocating at all three tiers, and only the SCEA allows you to do that. Only the SCEA is set up so that your membership is three-tiered: national, state, and local. So you can do that right now. Join the SCEA.org. Well, thank you so much again to Mary and Laura Haney. Thanks to Alana for suggesting our guests tonight. If you have any comments or questions, we invite you to put those in the comments on Facebook here or on YouTube if you're watching there. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week until our next live stream and until the spring conference this weekend. Have a great week. Bye-bye, everybody.